Hello friends, so today we're going to discuss the first three problems from the LeetCode weekly contest 229. So the first three problems are a little bit easy, but the third problem is based on DP. I've already solved some sort of that problem in my later videos, but still we're going to discuss all the three problems in this video, so stay tuned. The first problem is merge strings alternatively, in which you are given two strings, word1 and word2, and you have to like merge the two strings in an alternative character fashion. So which means that take the first character from like this word1, second character from word2, third character from word1, third, fourth character from word2, and so on. And if one of them is smaller, as you can see, so if this, let's say like A, P, B, Q, then there is no character here, so only R and S. Okay, so that's the whole problem. You can just solve it using two pointers. It's not like this question do not require too much explanation. You just take two pointers, one pointing at this character and one pointing at this character, and if my I is inbound, then take that character. If my J is inbound, take that character. If anything goes out of bound, just don't take that character and go it for other character. I hope you understand the point. I'll make it more clear with this code. So as you can see in this code part, I take the input, like this is an empty string which we have to return out, or we have to populate that string. Then these are I and J, which are pointing to the start of these word1 and word2. Then if anyone is not completed, if like this is, we have to do a while loop till both of them is out of bound. We have to do a while loop because we have to take characters from both of these strings. So as you can see, if both I is less than n or j is less than m, if any of this condition is holding true, then we first have to take character from I and then j. So we have to first check that, okay, if any of them is holding true, we have to check that, okay, if I is inbound, what we'll do, we'll add my ith character of w1 to answer and increment my I. Then I also have to check that whether my j is also inbound. Then I will take the jth character from w2 and increment my answer. And then I'll keep on doing this till then both of these strings are exhausted and the final answer is this answer. I hope you understand the logic and the code part for this problem. If you have any problem or any doubt in any of these problems, like feel free to ask me or contact me on my Telegram channel. So let's move on to the next problem. It states that you actually have different boxes, n boxes, and each box is either 1 or 0, which means that either that box has some balls or like it has some ball or 0 ball in the initial phase. Okay, as you can see in these boxes, the first box has 1 ball, the second box has 1 ball, the third box has 0 ball. So the ith, like because it's a binary string, every character can be either 0 or 1. Like in the initial phase, every ball or every box can be either 0 or 1. Now what the problem statement states that you have to tell the minimum number of operations to transfer each ball to the ith box. So what does a operation mean by this in this problem is like you just take out one ball and transfer it to its adjacent position, and that consists of one operation. So what I mean by this is, if I told you in simple terms, this is a string like this 110. Okay, now like these are three boxes. If you want to place out all of these balls in the ith box, so you have to return out a string, okay, or like a vector which tell you if I want to place all the box on this box, like what is the number of operations you are required. So as you can see, if I want to place all the balls in the first box, there is only one ball which is left because the first ball is already here, so one operation is required. So answer is 1. If you want to place all the balls here, you have to just require one more operation, which means that like this is the initial phase and you want to place all the balls in this box, so just take out this ball and put it here, so one operation is required. And maybe if you want to place all the balls in this box, then one operation is required to put it here, and two operations, 1 and 2 operations are required, because in one operation you can just take one ball and transfer it to the next box. So you just have to take it in a like a conjugative manner, just transfer it here, 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 and so on to the ith box. Okay, so you just have to tell that if I want to transfer all the balls into the ith box, how much number of operations I need to require. Okay, and that's the whole problem. Now first it becomes very difficult to understand, but like how to come up with the solution. But if you just look over the constraints are like up to 1000, so you can do this problem. I always encourage to see the constraints also. As you can see, the constraints are up to 1000, so you can do this in O of n square operation. Now this is one more important thing you can do. So what you can easily do here is, let's assume that you have some string like this. Okay, then just iterate over every ball. So what you can do here is just make an empty vector, because you have to find out for all the answers now, for all the positions. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so if you want to take this ball, okay, because this ball is already in this place, but if you want to take this ball, and because this box has one ball, and now you want to place this ball maybe in this position and so on. So if you want to place this ball into this position, into the first position, it is already there, so 0 moves are required. If you want to place the ball in this position, 1 move is required. For this, 2 moves are required, 3 moves are required, 4 moves are required, 5 moves are required, because if you want to place all the balls in this position, you have to take these balls into this position, which is 5 moves. Now as you can see, for this I have to counter that if I want to place this ball, because this is 1, if I want to place this ball in all of these positions, like if I want to make this ball come to this position, then how much like steps are required? 1 step. So just add 1 to it, the original answer plus 1. Then if I want to bring out to this position, like 0. For this, 1 more step, so the answer will become 3. For this, 1 more step, so 3 plus 1 4, then 5, then 6. Then this is 0, which means that there is no ball here. So which means that I don't have to take out this ball to any place. What I'm actually building out is, which means that every place is consisting of the number of balls, like number of moves I will require to put out all the balls at this position, because I'm taking every ball and finding it the number of positions or number of operations are required to place this ball in all the boxes. And that's what we are doing. I'm just populating for every position the number of steps are required to put that ball into the ith container, in how much steps are required. Because if you want to go forward, I will require the number of steps is, as you can see, like if this is the jth step and I am counting on the I, so j minus I steps are required. But if we have to go back, then I minus j are required, steps are required. So just find out the absolute of I minus j, like absolute of I minus j, and that's the number of steps which are required to put the ball in the ith position. Because as you can see, for every ball, like if this is the ith ball, if I want to place this here, then how much steps are required? The current position minus this ith position, we just do an absolute value of that. I hope you understand the logic part now. So I'll just move on to the code part. It's very small. Just iterate over, just make an empty answer vector. Then what you have to do here is just iterate over every position in this string which is given to you. If the current string is 1, then which means that okay, now I have to place this ball into every container of this answer. So what I will do, iterate over all the values from 0 till n and just add that, like because this is the ith ball position and these are all the positions, so absolute value of I minus j you have to add in all these answers and just return out the answer vector. I hope you understand the logic part for this second problem also. Let's move on to the third problem now. The third problem like states that, I'll tell you in simple terms. So it's actually states that you have a vector, okay, of some numbers which can be either positive or negative, which is nums, and you also have another vector which is multiplier, okay, which consists of some m numbers. So this is n and this is m, okay, and m is always less than equal to n, which means that obviously always n, the number of steps you have or the multipliers you have, are less than the nums. Now what you actually do here is, in every step you'll take out the ith multiplier. So maybe it's the first step, so take out the first multiplier, and what you actually have to do here is just take out any number from the start or end from this nums and take out that number, multiply it with the ith multiplier and add it to the score. Initially your score is 0, so your score is taking out any character, like any number from the start or end of this nums, and then multiply with the ith multiplier and then remove out that number from this whole array. Then just take out the next multiplier and take out the remaining numbers, take out another number, multiply that number with the multiplier, add it to the score, and so on. And you just have to find out the maximum score you can get by doing this operations, because you have m multipliers, so you can always do this operation m times. Maybe this array is very large, but because the multipliers are small, you can always do this number of steps, only the number of multipliers only. I hope you understand the problem statement now. So now, because it's a very standard, like a standard type of DP problem, you can just get that intuition in the first look only, because you might have always or like heard of a problem in which you have some different numbers and you have to take out maybe like m numbers from either start or end, such that you have to minimize the total score. That's also a DP problem. So in such type of DP problem, what you can always do here is, like, always encourage to just make a DP table. Okay, and because in this problem you just have two state, I and j, whether you take out the ith character from the start or the jth character from the end. Okay, and when will your like operation end? Let's assume that you take out two characters from the start and three characters from the end. So when the total from I plus j becomes equal to the number of operations you can do, which is equal to m, then your operations end. Okay, and if you have seen the current state earlier, which is like dp of I or I comma j, if you have seen this current state earlier, then use the answer. Or else you have two options for every state. Either I can take out this current element, the I current element, the ith current element from the start, multiply this value with the multiplier, the ith multiplier, and move on with this remaining array. Or the next option is take out the last element from this array and multiply it with the multiplier with the ith term of the multiplier and take out this array from the start. Okay, and then you can keep on doing this such that your I plus j, when becomes equal to m, you just have to stop. I hope you understand the logic, or it's not the logic, but actually it's just and just store out all the values in the DP table, and that's the whole logic. It's not more. Yeah, like there are a lot of questions I've already solved using this technique, so you can check out my channel and try to watch that. It's in the DP playlist I've already made. So I just move on to the the solution of this problem. So what I actually did here is I just make a DP table of, like, because the numbers, as you can see, because there are only 1000 operations, so the answer or the total answer will always consist of only 1000 numbers. Okay, so that's why I've taken a DP table, because even if my as you can see, even if like the n can be very large, but still I can take my I plus j should be equal to m only, and m is up to 1000, like 10,000, sorry, 1000 only. So as you can see, thus my I and j will be up to like 1000. So that's why I've making a DP table of 1000 and 1000, because I have two like input characters I and j. So we have to find out how many parameters on which my DP state is dependent. Now we have to initialize my total value. So because we have to maximize my answer, I want to make out I want to fill out the DP table with a value which is as minimum as possible. So as you can see, if how to find out the minimum possible value, as you can see, the value for I and j can be up to 1000, minus 1000, and if it is minus 1000 and all the characters, as you can see, it's 10 to the power 3. So if all the characters are minus 1000, so the maximum value can be minus 10 to the power 6. So I just initialize all the value with minus 10 to the power 9, which is like a large number. It cannot happen in the answer which is in this problem. So 10 to the power minus 9, I initialize all the DP values with this. Okay, then what I do, I just return out the OK function which just computed my answer. So just inputted I and j, or like L and R, which L is just starting pointer value and R is a like last value. So both of them are initialized to 0. It's not pointing at this value, it's just that starting from the left side, how many characters I have taken, 0, or like starting from the right hand side, how many numbers I have taken, 0. Okay, so I will take out some numbers in the processing. So what I'll do, if my L plus R becomes equal to M, we just return out 0. That's the base case. If I find out the L plus R value, because if my DP of L to R, as you can see, DPLR is not 10 to the power 9, which means that this DP value is already calculated before, just return out that DP value state value. Or else I have two options. I find out the maximum one. I just either take out or call my OK function with L plus R, which means I take out the Lth character, like this character. So my new DP state will be from L plus 1 to R. Okay, so that's what I've done. Just calling out my OK function again with L plus 1 and R, and adding this value, which is like, because I have initialized to not call this or send this vector again and again, I just make all these vectors, both of these vectors, global by using this. So multiplying the multiplier value with the Lth value, or Lth means that the ith value from the start. Or the next case can be, I just take out the last character, or the last position value, which is like rth value, and if I take out that position value, my new DP position will be L to R plus 1, because R plus 1 means that if I've taken one character from the end, now my next character will be from 0 till R plus 1, like this position. Okay, so if I've taken out this character, like what is the last character value as you can see, because I've taken one character from the last, actually the last character index is n minus r minus 1. Okay, so just multiply this value with the last character index value, or if I've taken the first character, just multiply it with this and just return out the DP value, or actually return out this answer value, but store it before returning out in the DP table, so that we can use out this value again if we require. I hope you understand the logic and the code for all the three problems. If you have any difficulty, let me know in the comment box. I'll see you next one. Till then, keep coding.